Hey, I wanted to try doing a vlog, video log, maybe a time or two a week and see how that goes. Kind of show y'all what goes on in the shop. Maybe go in depth on some bow tuning and stuff like that. So this will be our first one. I'll see how the reactions are for the first couple and then go from there. But hey, stick with us. It'll be a short little 5 to 10 minute video and check out what happens today. Today is Thursday. Just got to the shop. Got a few people coming, got some strings to do, a bow to tune, some arrows to fletch, so let's see what all happens. So check this out. We do what we call spine indexing arrows. When an arrow is made, aluminum or carbon, there's an overlap. With aluminum, there's actually a weld that gives it a stiffer spine on one side. And on carbon, the carbon's wrapped a certain way, so at some point on the arrow, there's some of it that's wrapped that gives it a stiffer spine. So I put this ball bearing on here with a 2-pound weight. Well, if I can get it on there. I built this thing. I've tried, there's different spine testers. There's a ram and a bear paw and all this. This old homemade one, to me, works just as good or better than the fancy one. So I got this dial gauge that I put on top of the arrow. I get it set up, tighten it down. And then all I'm doing is spinning this arrow, watching that dial gauge, and I can actually feel where the weak spine drops off as I'm spinning it. So what I'm going to do is find the high spine right there. I'm going to take my silver marker, and on the back of the arrow I put a dot. And what that dot does is tell me where to put the odd color fletching, so that every arrow has the stiffest spine in a vertical plane coming out of the bow. So it really wouldn't matter if you put, the stiff spine goes through the arrow completely. So as long as that odd feather's up or down, with a compound bow, when it flexes coming out of the bow, it flexes up and down. With a recurve, you're shooting your fingers, it flexes left, right. But anyway, this puts each arrow the same, exact same. In my testing, at an 80-yard target, you can tell a couple inches of difference in the groups of the arrows. Now, at 30 and 40 yards, no big deal, but you stretch out to like 80 yards, and I've seen a pretty big difference. So anybody that shoots 3D or target stuff, I generally do this to their arrows. Really, almost anybody that I refletch their arrows now, I go ahead and do this just to be safe. So check this out. So spine indexing became popular just a few years ago, and at first I was sort of a skeptic, and then I went ahead and bought one of the ram spine indexers, and it works, but you can't really feel it. To me, you can't feel it like you can on here. Sometimes I'll add extra weight to my ball bearing, and all I have to do, I don't have to look at the dial. I can just tell when it's at the weak point. So check this out. As you can tell, the stiffer spine is going to be, not as flexible, so that the dial is going up, the weaker spine is going to be down. So all I got to do is spin this thing. I can feel it just doing that, but it'll drop down and then it builds up. Right there's my stiff spine, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that and go on to the next one. Dang it, I had some bows dropped off, but I forgot I was supposed to be doing this video, and so I didn't get them on camera. But anyway, I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna fletch some arrows, and if time allows, I'm gonna start setting up a bow that was dropped off. So I will keep y'all in the loop. So we're going to be fletching some XXX gold tip arrows here, some tournament arrows, and the guy wanted boning heat vanes, which he brought with him, which is cool. So what we're going to do is take this Bitzenberger, good old trusty Bitzenberger, and we're going to do a little fletching here. We got a dozen to fletch. Of course, I won't bore you with the whole dozen, but I thought maybe I'd run through one of them here and let you see the process. So I'm taking my glue, just putting little dots all the way down the vane, smearing it down the vane a little bit. Alright, I'm going to stick the clamp on, and what I'm doing is I'm lining up my odd color with that dot that I put on there earlier from when I spine indexed them. That way the odd color is always at the stiffest part of the arrow, which hopefully in theory will make them shoot better in the long run. So I give each vane probably 30 seconds to a minute to sit. Not too specific, just making sure they stick good. And people all the time ask me what glue I use. It's different for each vane, but for blazers and a lot of them, I get away with this Loctite super glue gel. You can get it in the ultra control container and all that stuff. For a blazer vane, which these are not blazers, but I can't find anything that works better. All the archery glues cost a lot more and don't work as good, and you can get that stuff at Walmart for a couple bucks. Alright, so we're going to take our clamp off. Looks good, not too much glue. We're going to go to another green one. Get our glue spread out. You know, for those of you that don't fletch at home, the way this joker works is, first of all, I can adjust the angle of this clamp to wherever I need to, but there's a strong magnet over here that grabs this clamp, and then I just push it down, push the back against the jig, and that's pretty much it. Make sure it's got a good bit of pressure on it, and it does the rest itself. There's other jigs, a lot of times on hunting arrows. Thought I heard somebody pulling up. I guess not. On hunting arrows, I'll use this quick jig. It's a Arizona, like a 3-in-1 jig. You just put the arrow in there and close it down. It's got a spring-loaded thing. And usually if somebody's waiting on arrows and I need to do them quick, I'll throw them in there real quick. But the Bitzenberger's a little more precise. I also got the Last Chance Vane Master Pro. It's precise. Hadn't really got the hang of it yet, and I've got other ones from years past, Joe Jans and all this stuff, but the Bitzenberger's old reliable. I'll show you one more fletching on here, and then I won't bore you with that. We'll get in, hopefully the next clip will be me tuning on that bow a little bit. We'll run my bead of glue. Might can show you some string building stuff too on this on this video. We do a lot of strings out here. We ship out, well, I won't say ship out. We do a lot of local ones, and we ship some out. So we end up, this time of year, it's beginning of December, we end up doing, I don't know, anywhere between 20 and 50 sets a week. Last week I think we did just shy of 50, but I was running I did a little sale on Facebook, $60 sets. So we do a good many bowstrings. It's something I like to do, but it never seems like there's the perfect amount. There's either too many to do or not enough. So I got a couple guys that help me do them. So you'll probably see them in some of our videos. And that's it. There's our arrow ready to go. Got our dot where or dot where the odd color fletching's at, and from here I'll fletch them all, weigh them all out, and then get the tips put in, try to get the weights as close as possible to each arrow, and then he'll be ready to pick them up and shoot them. So let's see what we can do next. Forgot to record a bunch of stuff on my first thing on here, but we had a man back into the big oak tree out front, or I guess it's a pecan tree, and then we had another man that never shot before, misfired his release and sent an arrow into outer space. But anyway, next time I'll try to get it on camera. And we did some stirrings, and that was about it. So we'll try to do another one next couple days and see what happens. Maybe get some live action on film. See y'all later.